In a billion years, Earth will be a very different place. Let's take a journey into the far future and explore what could happen to our planet. First, forget about what you know now. Blue skies, green forests, cities, and oceans. Earth a billion years from now will look nothing like that. So buckle up because the ride gets very wild. Starting with the sun, our friendly neighborhood star is not just sitting there shining peacefully, it's growing older and getting hotter. You know how some people get grumpy as they age? Well, so does the sun. In a billion years, it's going to be a lot brighter and hotter than it is today. That's bad news for us, but good news for anyone who loves sauna level heat. As the sun's heat increases, the temperature on Earth will rise. But we are not talking about a little heat wave here. The Earth's average temperature could soar to over 100 degrees Celsius. Yup, you heard that right. Water boiling temperatures. Speaking of what, the oceans are not going to stick around forever. They'll start evaporating, slowly turning into thick clouds of steam. So say goodbye to the beaches and seas. The oceans, which have been around for billions of years, will start to vanish. Imagine Sahara Desert, but it's everywhere. There might be a few puddles of water hanging around near the poles, but for the most part, Earth will become a giant, dry desert. No more surfing, no more tropical islands, just dust and heat. Now, with all the water gone, you might think Earth would at least have some cool landscapes, right? Mountains, valleys, forests, something. Well, no. Over time, the planet's surface will get smoother. The tectonic plates that once gave us mountains and earthquakes will slow down, possibly even stop moving altogether. It's like Earth is going into retirement. No more exciting geological activity. The mountain will erode away and eventually Earth's surface will become flat and featureless, like a giant dusty pancake. So if you are planning on hiking in the distant future, you will need to find another planet. But hey, maybe you are more of a stargazer. In a billion years, the night sky will look completely different. Some of the stars we see now will be gone. One of the stars we are keeping an eye on is Betelgeuse, which is set to explode into a supernova sometime in the next million years or so. When that happens, it will be visible from Earth even during the daytime. If you are still around a billion years from now, you might not see Betelgeuse anymore, but there is a chance you could catch a glimpse of its remains, a beautiful nebula floating in the sky. And what about life on Earth? Humans? Animals? Plants? Well, let's just say things aren't looking too good. With the planet boiling hot and no water to drink, complex life on Earth will likely to be a thing of the past. In fact, scientists think that in a billion years, only thing left might be microbes, tiny, hard organisms that can survive in extreme environments. So the Earth could end up being a giant desert world inhabited by invisible little creatures, surviving in whatever damn corners are left. It's not exactly a lively scene. As for humans, well, we would be long gone. It's highly unlikely that we will be still on Earth by then. Hopefully, we have figured out space travel and moved on to another planet. Mars, maybe? Or one of the Jupiter's moons. Who knows? We might even have our own intergalactic neighborhood by then. If we are lucky, future humans could be living on space colonies or hopping between planets like they are taking a road trip. But Earth? It will be left behind, a memory of our home planet. Now, let's talk about the continents. If you are thinking that Earth will still have the same familiar continents, North America, Africa, Europe, think again. Over the next billion years, the continents will continue to drift. They might even come back together to form another supercontinent like Pangea. the massive landmass that existed hundreds of millions of years ago. Imagine all the continents merging into one enormous piece of land. We would call it Pangea 2.0. But eventually, just like before, this supercontinent will break apart again. It's a never-ending cycle of landmasses coming together and breaking up. Oh, and speaking of tectonic activity, we might also have to deal with some massive volcanic eruptions. Supervolcanoes like the Yellowstone could blow their tops, spewing ash and lava across entire continents. The impact of a supervolcano could be catastrophic, wiping out large proportions of life and making the air unbreathable. So, if you are planning a vacation in a billion years, make sure you are not near any active volcanoes. What about asteroids? You know, those giant space rocks that occasionally like to crash into planets? In the next billion years, there's a pretty good chance that Earth will be hit by at least one big asteroid. We are talking about an asteroid so large that it could cause mass extinction. Last time something like that happened was 66 million years ago, when an asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs. If it happens again, the impact could create a crater hundreds of miles wide and set off massive fires that could burn for years. Not exactly a fun time. But let's not forget the moon. Earth's faithful companion has been slowly drifting away from us over time. In a billion years, it will be much farther from Earth than it is today. This means we won't be able to enjoy total solar eclipses anymore. Boomer, right? The moon will look much smaller in the sky, and its influence on the Earth's tides will be weaker. Without the moon's gravitational pull, the Earth's rotation will slow down even more, making days longer and longer. Imagine a day that's 30 hours long. More time to get things done, but also more time to endure the scorching heat. The future Earth might also have some pretty wild weather. With the planet heating up and the atmosphere changing, we could see extreme storms, super hurricanes, and massive dust storms that makes today's weather look like a light drizzle. Lightning storms might rage across the skies, and the air will be filled with dust and debris, making it tough to breathe. If you think climate change is bad now, just wait a billion years. One of the most fascinating facts that will happen in the distant future is the evolution of life. Not on Earth, but in space. If humanity survives long enough, we might witness the rise of new intelligent species on other planets. Life on Mars, perhaps? Or maybe one of the moons of Jupiter or Saturn. These new life forms could evolve in ways we can't even imagine. They might not look anything like us. Maybe they will have multiple arms, or they will be able to live without water. The possibilities are endless. As we reach the end of our billion-year journey, it's clear that Earth will be a vastly different place from the planet we know today. Hot, dry, flat, and mostly lifeless, not exactly the paradise we are used to. But even though Earth's future seems bleak, it's important to remember that the universe is full of surprises. Who knows what new discoveries we will make, what new planets we will explore, or what new forms of life we will encounter. Earth's story might come to an end, but the story of life in the universe is just the beginning. So if you ever find yourself in a time machine and decide to travel a billion years into the future, don't expect to find the same Earth you left behind. It will be a strange, unrecognizable world, but that's what makes the future so exciting. It's full of endless possibilities. And who knows, maybe by then we will found a new home among the stars.